Okay, we're going to have a little bit of wind noise, but it's definitely time for us to give you some kind of coverage on this. Electric bike, Rad Rover 5, Rad City, step through 3. So what's going on between these three? Let's talk about it.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
So this is the electric XP step through version 2 or 2.0. All of a sudden we got a ton of traffic decides to drive by. We're out here in the country and I've been driving this thing around forever, just in the little loop here, just to get an idea about what it's all about. And I can say that it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be as far as comparing it to what I've been riding. This is the Rad Rover 5, and obviously you can tell the difference in many ways. You'll see a lot of comparison videos on YouTube between the electric and the Rad Mini, which is this one's little brother that does a folding thing. And it's a step through. And they're pretty good comparison videos because people may want to compare one with the other as far as what they've got and maybe going to another brand or deciding between the two brands. For example, if you know that you want a folding bike, you know, there's a few choices, and of course those comparisons are great. My problem is I wanted to compare what it was like going from this to that, which there are no videos on, or from that to that. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if you have the room, this and this are better riding bikes as far as comfort, as far as distance, but not by much, not much at all. I'm going to tell you, when you get your electric bike, buy a seat. This seat came off of my Rad Rover 5. When I first got the Rad Rover, it was a horrible ride. This is the original seat. There is no cushion. At least the seat that electric sends with their bikes are pretty decent. So this is the seat that you get normally when you buy the bike. And it is cushioned. It's got some shock absorbers in here that are of rubber, neoprene of some kind. I'm not sure, a urethane, but it is considerably more soft than what this is that Rad offers you. However, if you've got a big butt and you don't plan on doing much but sitting the whole time, you want to get even a better seat. Electric makes upgraded seats. However, right now electric's having a problem, and we'll talk about that as far as shipping times and everything being on back order. So why would I want to go from what I just said, a comfortable bike that you can ride long distances, to something that looks a little unconventional? I'll be honest, the Rad Rover looks much better. It's a much cooler bike. I'm getting much more compliments on that than I will for this. This does look a little funky. There's a reason for that. Well, actually two reasons. One is it's folding. That's the biggest reason by far. It's a folding bike. It's compact. You can put it where you need to. The second reason, though, the battery's integral. So you've got this big down bar that looks a little crazy. That's because the battery's inside there. It's sealed off better. It's protected better. I feel more comfortable with that type of setup than I do with the battery like this. And when you have the battery out, this is something that we experienced and I didn't really like, and that is the exposure. Those pins are exposed. So when we were in Daytona Beach, or Ormond Beach actually, you know, we were always blowing sand out of there and cleaning it out and making sure that it didn't get, you know, salty or anything like that. I mean, that was a concern. So as far as the battery being inside the tube, like on this one, I don't have a problem with that. It does make it look a little bit more funky, like I said, but I think the overall result of keeping that battery protected and protecting the connectors whenever it's even the battery's out of it, that's a good thing. As far as riding this, that's the main thing I want to talk about. I am 6 foot and 275 pounds, and I don't pedal my bike hardly at all. So if you fall under that category, you definitely want to hear this. This one's fine. with the seat, and it doesn't have the shock absorber mount for the seat mount. It just has springs in the seat. That springed seat, which is better than two others that we tried prior to this one. That spring seat in particular, which is in our store. Just go down to the links in the description and you'll find a Amazon store link. You can find it in the store. Definitely makes all the difference. We rode this around with the seat that came with it, and then we went ahead and put this seat on, and immediately I was more sold than I already was. This one turns tighter. It's easier. Look at the overall length compared to the Rad Rover 5 or even the Rad City step-through. The reason I'm not talking too much about the Rad City step-through is that's Heidi's baby, and she loves this bike. And I don't ride it, so I can't give you a comparison yet. Heidi will. We'll talk to her in a bit. So as far as the bike itself, you're looking at 26-inch tires on this one that are 4-inch wide. These are 20-inch tires that are 3-inch wide. I don't see a difference really as far as footprint. I mean, you can see the difference there, and it's so minor. I mean, really, really, really minor that I don't think that you're going to notice it. As far as the driving down, through on a beach or something like that. The fact that you have smaller tires makes the turning snappier. This will climb hills better. I've already tried it out. And as far as pedal assist, it does way better than this one. This one here, if I just pedal a little bit, the pedal assist is really strong on this one. It does more than what the throttle can. The pedal assist and the throttle are the same on this one, so it doesn't make a difference if I'm trying to pedal going up the hill or if I twist the throttle. The same amount of power is applied. You can change the gears, which I did on both of them, and you can make them both go up the hill, even with my butt on there, pedaling. But for whatever reason, this one has more oomph. Now, as far as speed, I can get this one up to top speed faster than this one. Now, as far as pedaling and top speed, because of, you can see the geometry, and this one being more traditional like a mountain bike, I can pedal this one up to a higher speed more than I can this one. It's just because of the way that it is. Now, if I put the seat up, now it looks even more funky. It looks like that I don't even know what. I just hate the way that it looks. But if I put the seat up and pedal my butt off, I can still get this one faster doing the same thing. What's the downfall here? One of the downfalls is because of the seating situation there, the seat being low, in comparison to the cranks, there's not much distance there. I have a tendency to put my heel more on this pedal, which it is a folding pedal. That's part of the whole process there, you having the ability to fold it up. But when I have my heel rocked forward a little bit more, my toe can hit. My toe does hit, and it's hit a couple times on the ground. Of course, that's not much of an issue here. Not only is the cranks a little bit higher off the ground, but the distance between the seat and the cranks is even more. So I have a tendency to put the middle of my foot or the ball of my foot on these pedals. Again, I'm talking from not a avid biking perspective. I'm not Lance Armstrong or even thinking I want to even try to be him. I'm just the guy that wants to get through the RV park or go see some sights and not have to take my truck on the road and navigate all kinds of crazy traffic when I can just hop on a bike and go. So here's the thing. Heidi and I have been dealing with these bikes for a little over a year now, and we find that we're having a couple of problems that are just too much to get around. And let me tell you what that is. Even though I'm going to show you a cluttered area, I think you'll get an idea. Right now, the back of the truck's packed way more than it should be. You can see I got some tools here. I was screwing around with the bike seat. My Rad Rover 5 goes here, and it goes from here all the way back to the tire in the back. I don't know if you can see that. Heidi's Rad City step-through goes here, and it goes the same length also. We tie them down with ratchet straps, both of them. We have to take the front tires off of both of them because I have this leer locker, and with the cap, it can't clear. Even with that leer locker out of there, it should clear, but I think I'd still be an issue trying to get the handlebars underneath all of this. So both front tires have to come off those bikes. Lifting the bikes up, not a big deal, especially now they're tires and, rims off of them, especially the Rad Rover 5. I can get it up in there a little bit easier. But we don't like doing that. Those quick release front ends that they have for the tires and wheels are nice, but they're not bulletproof. And if we keep on doing that over and over and over again, I think we're going to damage the front disc brake. Maybe the brake pads, we might bump those and screw up the caliper, or we might lose a spring for the skewer that goes through there. It's real easy to take the front tires off and put them back on. I should say tire and wheel on both of these. However, it's just a pain in the butt because now I have to load the bike up. And what we did is we kept the shipping pad that came with this that has a flat pad that we put the forks back down and connect to make it to where it at least slides in and out a little bit easier on both bikes. But now I've got to find a place for the tires on the front. So that's why we were going to something that is foldable and we can throw it in the back of the truck. Now, as far as if I was to do this all over again, knowing exactly what I know right now, well, I guess the answer is this. Do you have a rear cargo area that has plenty of room that you can store these bikes, the big Rad Rover and the Rad City step through, without taking anything apart and just putting it in its storage area? I would say, sure, if you don't mind spending the extra money. There's the other thing too. It costs more. So
I swear it said 28 at one time, so it went from like 20 to 28, and I'm like, oh, that's not
what do you
accurate.
think compared to yours? Your Rad City Step Through 3.
I like it because it's not as chunky, but obviously I like the other bike better.
Right.
But I can do this.
I like it because I've never seen you make turns and accelerate faster. And that other bike, because it's long and more comfortable, more of a cruiser type bike.
And obviously what I was riding here is probably the worst case scenario.
Well, except for rocks. We haven't done rocks.
It's rocky over there in that drive.
But yeah, this one, I think it's more darty.
Yeah.
And it's more point it and go.
Yeah.
It's got better acceleration. But as far as long driving long rides and that, once I get up to speed, full speed, I'm just like, okay, is this it? I could sure go for some more. But I was doing that with the other one too. But the other one, you could sit back and just kind of relax on it more.
Right. I think this will be okay for us getting around.
Yeah. Oh, I did. You know, here's the thing too. If we had either your bike or my bike, the Rad Rover 5 or the Rad City step through, in the back of this truck, and we were up here doing laundry like we are now, I would have never got those bikes out.
Oh no.
I mean, you have to unstrap them, you have to pull it out, you know, to put the tire on it and the wheel, and then, you know, it's just, and then to get it back in. So yeah, I think
definitely.
Convenience, you know, it's like having a nice pocket knife on you instead of carrying around a machete.
Right.
You know, it's like, I don't want to get out the
machine. Much easier to get on and off.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, even your Rad City step through. This one's easier to get in on.
It's not really a step through.
Right. Even though they call it a step through, it's not a step through like this one.
Yeah.
That light is a lot brighter than you think.
Is it?
I could see it reflecting off of a puddle on the sidewalk before I could even see you because the trees are in the way.
Wow.
Way up the street. Yeah, the reason that we're picking this up here is, I don't know if you can tell by the sky and that, we had a rain delay. I stopped that video on, and there was another plus. I told Heidi, I said, those two Rad Power bikes, one of them I had to take, and well, both of them, I had to put them over near the steps. I had to lock them up, and then I put the cover over them. In the meantime, this one I just folded and threw it in the back of the truck before the rain started. And we were trying to hurry because the wind picked up, the awning was getting yanked around, it started raining, you know, thunder was in the distance. And this one, like I said, it's like a little pocket knife. Just pull it out and do what you need to do to get it either in fold up, put away condition, or take out and ride condition. It's just lickety split, where the other ones were routine. You saw the last little clip of Heidi riding this through the parking lot and what her thoughts were on it. But now we're going to kind of give you an idea on board of us riding it. I don't know how much you're going to be able to see of this display, and quite honestly, I'll just tell you what's going on. I'm not going to pedal this bike much. I do have pedal assist. We'll go ahead and put it on pedal assist. Well, let's make it 5. Why not 5? But I'm not going to pedal it. I'm just going to use the throttle, and when I pedal, I'll let you know. So here's the acceleration through the gravel here. And sorry about any kind of wind we may pick up. And again, because the bike is so long, you know, the bumps, you got a little while before the front and, you know, front tire goes over, then the rear tire, whereas the other one's kind of both front and rear. Okay, now I'm at full throttle right now. 6 miles an hour, 7 miles an hour, not pedaling. 7.2, 7.3, we're starting to flatten out. 7.5, 7.6, 8, and again flattening out. 9, 10, so we'll keep it right around 10 here because I'm coming up on a corner. And you can see I've dropped 1 bar on the battery, just 1 bar. Again, I don't know if that'll come up on camera or not. So here we are. I'll do kind of a little speed test here. It's relatively flat. So I'm 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I got to 19 there, or 18.9, so that's close enough. Nice steady through here. 14.4. 14.7, 14.1. All right, and then we're going down a hill, and I'm going to use this hill. We're gonna try this hill out. So I need to turn my pedal assist down to 1, and the reason I'm doing that is so I can, well, actually I'm gonna turn it to 0 so I can shift gears. And now I'm in first gear. And you can see how steep the hill is. So first gear, and I'll shift up if I need to. Now I'm going to put it in pedal assist 5, and we'll see how fast we can get going before that caution sign that's in the distance, that little yellow caution sign. So here we go. I'll give a little throttle to get it going, and then pedal. There's 1.8, 2.7, 6.2, 6.9, 7.3, 7.3, 7.0, 6.8, 6.7, 6.4, 6.4, 6.3, 6.7, 7.78. I think I got 8 there, right near the end. So I shifted into second after I got it going, so I didn't, pedal out of the range. So from a dead stop on something that might be kind of flat and then slightly downhill, you can see our campsite off there in the distance behind that motorhome, and we'll see how fast we get before or as we turn into the campsite there. So here we go. 3.15, 6, 7, 9.5, 10, 12, 13, 15, 18, 20. So I hit 20 right before we hit that apron. Okay, now we're climbing aboard the little bike. Right away, the feel's different. It feels like I'm on more of a scooter than I am a bicycle. I'm going to put it up on pedal assist 5. Let's go ahead and put the gears down. Well, I'm going to put it down to pedal assist 0 to get the gears back to where it was. Yeah, see, pedaling this bike is not exactly its forte when the seat's all the way down. All right. Here's the thing. When you have your pedal assist on 0 on this bike, the throttle does not work at all. There is no assist. That's not the case with the Rad Power bike. As soon as you turn it on, it's got all the throttle you need. You don't have to worry about what pedal assist it's at. So I'm going to put it in 5, although as soon as it's on, even if it's on pedal assist 1, the throttle works full. It works fully, so you don't have to worry about that. So again, first thing I notice is the ride. This is a stiffer ride. It's like a scooter ride. You're going to feel more of the bumps. The tires are smaller. The bike's smaller in general. There's a good reason. So again, we're going to go up the hill, and I'm not going to pedal, and we'll call off some numbers here. So here we go. All right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.7, 8. We're coming to the flat part here. The bike's a little noisier than the other one. 9, 10, 11. All right, we'll go ahead and just, again, keep it easy here. Keep it around 10. Make this corner up here. 11, 11. And like I said, we have a little bit of a flat here, so let's go ahead and see what it can do. Just this all throttle, no pedaling. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. So again, same thing as before. The thing with this one is the pedal assist is so much stronger. So we're at 12 right now. To make it fair, I went ahead and turned on the light. And then we're going down the hill. The bike it's a stiffer ride. It's not as comfortable. The brakes are louder. They drag more instead of brake. I think maybe that'll change after we get 100 or so miles on it. And as far as the noise. It's definitely noisier than the Rad power bike. Okay, here we are. I'm going to put it in pedal assist 0 so I can get it down in gear 1. I don't think I'm going to be in gear 1 long. This bike likes to be in a higher gear, so you know what, I'm actually going to start it in 2 because there's no sense. It'll pedal out on 2 right away. Pedal assist 5, and watch how fast this one gets to that orange caution sign like the Rad power bike is whenever I'm pedaling. So ready, here we go. 2.3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 8, 8, 7.8, 7.7, 8, 8, 9, 9.5. The pedal assist on this one's much better as far as how it assists. It does a good job. So let's go ahead and, again, definitely a noisier bike all the way around. You know, the components that the Rad power bike's made with, they're not bad. They're not bad components at all. It's just the bike's so bulky for us. I'm going to go in 3rd gear like I did for the Rad power bike, but I'm going to have a tendency to think that we're going to be clicking up another gear because this thing accelerates kind of fast when you're pedaling. So see how fast we can get going to that driveway apron. 10, 12, 13, 15, 18, 19, 20, 22. Yeah, it was 22. So just at a short distance, you can tell. Now again, the bike's a much rougher ride. Is it unbearable? No, not really. But you're not riding that big comfort bike, just so you know. All right, so we got the camera on Heidi. She's got her Rad City all set up here. We'll go ahead and make it fair. Turn on the light just like we did for the other one. And she's going to tell you the speeds and how she rides it. I didn't tell her how I did the test, so she'll do something entirely different. She'll just tell you how easy, maybe how fast it goes up this hill. What I did was go to the bottom of that hill and then accelerate up. You can do it on this bike, but it's unfair. It's not a good test because she's a complete different person than me. I don't ride this bike because it's not comfortable for me. I don't like it unless I put the seat way up and then it feels weird. So,
I think these two are comparable.
Yes. Yeah, her bike and that step through, definitely really close for her. So go ahead and just tell them what the speed is when you're driving around. And
Okay. I'll start at the bottom of the hill here and we'll see the acceleration up the hill. And it's really bumpy through the yard. But I'll get turned around here. I really like this bike because obviously it's a full-size bike. And I'm going to pedal a little bit, but I usually ride around in 7th gear. And so I like to pedal a little bit more. So I did like 12 up the hill. I'm getting up to 13, 16, 17. And this is a really comfortable bike to ride. I enjoy riding this bike a lot. I am getting used to the electric bike. It rides different. I don't know quite exactly how to explain it between the two, but I'll show you how fast I can get going down here. .23. And it's just a great bike all around. I really like it. So I'll take the electric bike for a ride, and I ride it a lot different than this bike for some reason. So we'll give it a little spin.
All right, so Heidi informed me that she did that entire ride on pedal assist 1 with the other bike. So we're going to have to do pedal assist 1 only on this bike and see how that works for her. But of course she'll change the gears driving it. But all right, you're ready to go.
I'll get turned around here. Oh, so pumpy. I'll do it in the same gear that I had on the step through. It's got way more pickup than the Rad City. I'm doing 16 already. I am pedaling. I'm not pedaling now. 17, 18. This just has way more pickup. Michael says I ride this way different. I do. It's not as, I don't know. I can't explain it, but maybe it's more comfortable. It's less heavy, less chunky, and I won't pedal it all now. We'll see what 19, 20. Yeah, 20.9. But it's definitely a different ride that I really think that I could get used to.
So what's the summation of all 3 of these bikes? Well, I'm going to tell you that if you have an extra $400 to $500 to $600 a piece, for your bikes, this one is roughly $1,600. This one's roughly $1,500. This is $999, so $1,000. So you're talking $500, $600 more for these bikes. That's the first thing. The second thing, if you have the room for it, I said it 1,000 times, and I'm not going to harp on it too much more. But again, this is a summation. We don't like the routine of taking the wheels and tires off to store them, and then of course I've got to put ratchet straps on them to hold them in place. They're not made to do that. They're made to be ridden. They're not necessarily meant to be transported. This one's meant to be transported, and it's made to be ridden. Comfort-wise, what do you think? Of course, these are more comfortable. They're longer. When you hit one bump, it takes it a while before you hit the other bump. You are in the displacement of 2 big floating tires, especially in the example of my bike, and same with Heidi's, as far as the spacing, but not so much the size of the tires, that the bumps, you go over them a little easier. They're absorbed easier. This one here, it's a fair length, but it is still, I don't think I can get it lined up. It's still not as long as those bikes, and that's for transportation reasons. Now, the other day when we shot that video, when we were at the laundromat and Heidi was flying through the parking lot, I would never drop my tailgate, unratchet strap the bike, either one of the bikes, pull it out of the back of the truck, assemble the front wheel and tire, just so we could go on a quick ride around that area. This one here, no problem, because it's made to be portable. It's meant to come apart and do just that. The fact that this one is less money, the fact that it's more portable, and for us, we're not looking to, Tour de France. We like bike trails. We like going through bike trails. This will do it. And as far as beach riding, the tires are pretty big. They're still 3-inch tires. They're wider than what Heidi had on her bike. Of course, not as wide as the Rad Rover 5. And that was one of the main things I wanted to do, is compare it to that bike. The comparison between the Rad City step through and this one's pretty good, all except the folding aspect of things. So let's get Heidi's take on this. What do you think as far as, let's say we had to ride 6 miles to the beach and then 6 miles back? What bike would you want to have for that?
Actually, at this point, as many times as I've ridden both, I would take either or. And the one reason why I would buy this if we were stationary.
Yes, I agree.
This is a perfect bike for everyday riding.
Yes, I agree.
Not that this isn't.
Right.
But this is like sticks and bricks. If you want a bike and you want an electric bike, this is the one that you should get.
Right.
It's comfortable. I like, actually, now that I've ridden this one quite a bit, I like both of them. Actually, almost equally.
Right. It's kind of surprising. I figured that you'd like the other one more.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I love the looks of these bikes.
Yes.
I really do. They're kind of sleek. These ones I wasn't a fan of at all until we actually got them, and that the seat's not up.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to ride it that way. I will ride it exactly like this.
Right. Yeah. I know what she's saying is, and there's nothing wrong with it. Everybody knows. We know. So you can quit typing. We know that the seat post is supposed to be up considerably higher, so your knee is bent at a certain angle when you pedal, and the pedals on the downstroke and all that stuff. We know all that. We will never ride it that way. I can't imagine riding it that way.
I want to be able to touch the ground. I don't want to have to get off my seat to touch the ground.
Yeah. I mean, even if I could touch the ground, which I'm sure I could if the seat post went higher, I might raise mine a little bit. I don't know yet, but I don't like the way it looks, to tell you the truth. So, comparing to my Rad Rover, I will have to say the same thing Heidi said. Permanent. If you're not taking it apart, if you're not transporting it, if you're not picking it up and putting it in your RV, or picking it up and putting it on your bumper or your hitch, or whatever the case may be, those bikes are awesome. They're very good. Now, I'm going to still tell you, we did have problems with them. There was some issues. This one here, we could have issues with it also, but remember, the big thing about it is $1,000. This is $1,000. These were both to where we could have 3 of these for the price of these 2. Plus, we'd have $300 in our pocket, because when we bought these 2, we actually got them on sale. They are now higher priced, and with the racks that we bought, they were $3,300 for us to get them delivered, and we had to wait quite a bit of time. This one here, $999. Now, another big selling point here. I called this company. Guess what? Somebody answered the phone. Guess what? They gave me an answer. I've called them 3 times. Guess what's happened? I've talked to people 3 times. Guess what happens with Rad City? They can't be bothered with that. You're going to leave a message and they'll get back with you. And I'm talking about not a phone message, but an email. You'll get a canned message, and who knows how long it'll take. The whole issue we had with our repair on our Rad Power bikes was because nobody, including the dealer, nobody meaning me nobody, Heidi nobody, and the dealer nobody, could call and get hold of Rad Power bikes to get an answer about the wiring harnesses that the dealer was adamant about, because he repaired them all the time, that we needed. And that was the downfall. Their communication is so slow, and I don't want to hear about COVID. I don't want to hear about growth. I don't want to hear about how big the warehouse is getting, how busy they are. I don't care about any of that. You know what I care about? My money was spent, and I'm not getting service attached to the merchandise that I purchased. That's not the case with these. We have gotten an answer every single time we've called. Now, granted, I might have waited on hold for quite some time, or they may have had to call me back because I didn't want to wait in line, but nonetheless, I got a call and I got to talk with them, and it wasn't that long. It was within the day. I think 2 of the calls I just waited on hold and they picked up. I think that our lifestyle, moving around as much as we are, the folding portability is definitely something that's needed. And I'll tell you right now, I don't care how big, well, I shouldn't say that. I've seen some big pass-through storages on big fifth wheels, and maybe those Rad Power bikes would fit in some of these giant monsters. This may fit in quite a few other situations because it's not very tall when it's folded. Now, all the dimensions, just look up their website. I don't think we have any kind of association with them at all, right? As far as any kind of affiliates or anything like that. I don't know. If we do at some point in time, just check in the description. We'll add it, but I like it. I think it's a winner. So we're going to close out this extra long video. Like I said, it was a rain delay, so this has covered a few days for us. And hopefully you got enough footage to see what the bikes were like compared to each other, and you can make the same decision. I'm going to tell you right now, these are supposed to do 28 miles an hour. The fastest I've got it to do is 22 miles an hour. I don't know why that is yet, because I did change the setting in the dash. Maybe that's just the way they are. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because I'm so fat. You know, I don't know, but that's all the faster I could get it. My Rad Rover 5, again, I did the same tinkering in the display, and I changed the speed setting on it, and I could get this bike up to 27 or 28 miles an hour, and Heidi has gotten this one up to 24 miles an hour plenty of times. So take that for what it's worth. They advertise that there's a 28 mile per hour setting on here. I've got it set that way. Maybe we need to look into that a little bit more, but well, the other thing is the battery hasn't been charged. There's something else too. I want to close this out, guys. I really do, but you know, this is like a 500 watt, 800 peak, like I said before, and the battery is less amp hours. It's like 9 amp hours versus like 14 amp hour on these, and these are supposed to be 750 watt hubs. The bikes are bigger, but this thing just scoots. I mean, it just scoots better. I'll ask Heidi this: how easy is it for you to turn it, park it here, get on it, get off of it, turn it around, all that stuff?
It's so much quicker.
Yeah.
You know, everything about it, especially the pickup.
Yeah. Yeah, it just feels quicker all the way around.
I have a feeling that I might be pedaling less.
Yeah, just twisting the throttle. All right, so that's it. And what are we going to say?
As always, we hope to see you out here. Bye.
Bye.